What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Sports Betting with Let's Get 60. I'm your host, Justin Travis, and as always, you can find me on Twitter at Let's Get 60, on the web, letsget60.com, and on pickmonitor.com, Let's Get 60. And folks, we are going to break down week 3 of college and pro football here. We're going to do this in 10-minute segments. So there'll be a couple of these, but this is part 1, and let's just jump right into it here. I'm sorry, I don't have the sidebar up this time. But let's review college football first. Last week, 8-3, not a bad day at all. Quickly, the only head scratcher I had really was the Vandy game. I That's a bad team. Uh, they really should have put in more effort, I think, against a Purdue team that really can't run the ball. We'll talk more about Purdue later. Everything else, we did get lucky with Texas A&M in that late touchdown, and what can I say? I was right about LSU. All right, moving on. For Friday's games, I have two totals here, two overs, so it'll be a fun night of watching football, just watching everybody score here. But the first one, I think, is more of a lock than the second one. I only because the second one, the Washington State Houston total, is a bit high. I still fired on it, but I like the UNC Wake Forest total much better. Why? Well, for one, the North Carolina is down a corner starting DB. I think they lost one of their starting cornerbacks, so that's going to be an issue for them. Two, uh, as you may know, North Carolina wants to do this air raid thing, fast tempo, as many plays as possible. We haven't really seen the results on the scoreboard yet because they played two pretty good defenses, South Carolina and Miami. Um, Wake Forest isn't very good on defense either, but they're both a high tempo offense. So UNC's total yards gained in those two games, 872. That's pretty good. But again, we haven't seen it on the scoreboard because the defense is um, held up in the end there. Um, their defense gave up 488 yards to Miami. Miami just couldn't push it in. They just shot themselves in the foot way too many times. Wake Forest gave up 38 points to Utah State and 21 to Rice. Their total yards gained was 900. Okay, both these teams want to get up and down the field as fast as possible and score as quickly as possible. I think 66 is a joke. Um, this is wrong. My line is not 60. It was more like 70. We'll change that. But regardless, it doesn't matter. I think this goes way over 66. I think they get into the 30s by the end of the third quarter, actually. Each team gets in the 30s by the end of the third quarter, and you can watch the fourth quarter relatively relaxed. The other one, Washington State at Houston, this is pretty much a no-brainer. I think we're going to see a repeat of kind of what Houston and Oklahoma went through. That's why I set that over to 80. Um, Houston has no defense. They looked awful against Oklahoma. They didn't do much better. They didn't look much better against Prairie View. No pressure, no sacks. I don't see how you fix that in a week. Washington State, you know they're going to score. You know they don't run the ball, and you know that the coach from Houston used to coach under Mike Leach back in the Texas Tech days, I believe. So they're both going to know each other's tendencies. So I think that's going to even add to the score, if you will. Um, you know, again, both these teams love to score. Much like UNC, Wake Forest, they want to get the ball up and down the field. I believe they're playing inside on turf, so no weather issues there either. So Friday night, hit the over on both these games, 66 and 73. As you can see, we've already beat the closing line so far. All right, on to Saturday. Another total here. Ohio State at Indiana. I had this at over 63. I got it as low as 59.5 at BetUs. The current line is 59.5. I saw that today, so I went in and fired on it. Pick Monitor got it at 60.5. Look, Indiana is a legitimate offense. Okay, they've been legitimate for a while now. Now they have really good athletes in the right spots. This is going to be first real test of Ohio State's defense. I think FAU was just manhandled and just couldn't match up with them, and Cincinnati just never got off the bus. So I think the defense might be a little fat and happy, if you will, because they did shut out Cincinnati, but Indiana's not going to get shut out. They're not going to change their approach. They're going to continue to try and get the ball in the end zone as quickly as possible. And we know Ohio State can score. So, in the 60s here, I think both teams are going to score, obviously, a lot of points. It's going to be a close game. Not going to bet against Ohio State. I think the total is a much better play. All right, staying in the Big Ten here with Maryland and Temple. Everybody's on Maryland. I get it. This is not necessarily a buy low situation here, but they found the right head coach. Their players love him, and they're playing with a lot of confidence. Everybody on that team is bought in. They're on the road here. I get it, but they beat a pretty good Syracuse team that was looking ahead to this week. I get it, but Maryland, not bad on offense. Temple can score as well. So I think you'll see a back and forth a little bit here. I have Maryland beating them at 10. This line kind of moved up and down between 7 and 8. We got it at 7 with a little extra juice there. But the current line is -8, so we beat the closing line value so far. I think Maryland gets it done. They have a bye next week. There's no look ahead issue here. I think they're just gonna go in there and take care of business and be 3-0. Which, if you would have said that last year, I think a lot of people would have thought you crazy if Maryland's going to start the year 3-0. All right, Pitt at Penn State here. I got my line at Pittsburgh +7. I couldn't believe that the line came out at +17. Got it at +18. It kept rising. Current line is now back down to +17.5. So I think we got the best number there. Look, this is a rivalry game. And Pittsburgh would like nothing better to do than go into Penn State and beat them. Okay, Pittsburgh is going to be up for this game. Penn State's very young, and what have they done to deserve the -18? They've beat up on 2 really crappy schools, and they were down, I think, at half at Buffalo. They had to come back, so that score was a little misleading. So if you check out the recap, check out the box score, they were down. So I'm not sure where their head's at right now. I'm going into this game. And again, Pittsburgh coming off a nice win against Ohio after getting beat by a very good Virginia team. Again, rivalry game. If their head coach better be talking about the disrespect factor here at +17. Again, Penn State's done nothing to earn any respect from me or really any of the bookmakers, in my opinion. I don't get the -18 here. So we'll take the points. I'm not saying Pittsburgh's going to win. Penn State's very talented, and again, next year they're going to be very good. But they're a young team. I think they could get down, and then it's just a race to the end of the game here for those 17, 18 points. So I love 18 here. Even 17.5 obviously is a good number. All right, one more, then we'll end it here. New Mexico at Notre Dame. We all know Notre Dame's good. We all know that they're going to outmatch New Mexico, but Notre Dame has Georgia next week. This is a look ahead spot here. I said New Mexico +21. Pick the lines at 34.5. I got it at 35. This is a great spot to take a big number here against with an inferior team against a good team because of look ahead spot. Look, Kelly's going to pull the starters. Everyone's going to be like, watch the knees, be careful, kind of thing. Just let's get to Georgia healthy kind of stuff. New Mexico's going to hang around. Notre Dame's not going to be in trouble, but they're not going to cover 35. No way. All right, guys, that's part 1. I'm going to sign off for now and start part 2 right away. So I'll see you in a bit.